Good morning, good morning. It is October 30th, 2025. It's about 9:15 in the morning. Welcome everyone to the Trading Alchemist. Before I get started, if you are enjoying these videos that I've been posting, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe. It'll just help us out a bit, as our channel's growing. Also, would love to hear some feedback, so if you've got any questions or want to make any comments, just put them down below and we'll hit it up. Okay, let's jump in to these charts and let's go from where we were yesterday. Okay, first of all, we were in this section right over here yesterday. This is what our video started with yesterday morning. And what I mentioned is that I took a short in this area and I took a TP over here, and I was planning on taking another TP over here, which I did. So that ended up playing out. But also yesterday was a news day, and I don't really pay attention to the news other than how the chart's going to move, how the chart typically moves. So yesterday I drew this pattern on my screen. It went like this, and then I also drew this right here. It's the exact same thing. And I pointed it out the last time we had a big news event. It was this, I believe it was this Catalyst, Black Swan dump event. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I showed kind of where that pattern was. So now that we had news yesterday, let's go look for that, those candle patterns. So I'm going to go from the 12-hour, I'm going to go all the way down to the 15-minute, because yesterday was kind of like a slumber, we're going down, and then the news hit. And here it is right over here. We ended up dropping before the FOMC started. And then we took this really big drop, which if you check out yesterday's video, I mentioned that this would be the area for a short-term long, right? And if you notice, we bounced right on the spot right over here, okay? And it created this pattern, just like this, right? Right down to the middle. And you can see it right here. This is it, right back over here. Sorry, let me make that more accurate, right? So this is the mean right here. This is the middle where it started. The news play happened. It went up, it came down, hit this order block, and it came right back over right over here, okay? And then it continues business as usual, all right? So you could see it right there. So this is what I mean. And the other thing that I said was that it looks for an order block, and notice that it came down and it bounced right on this zone. And that's why I said it would be a short-term long, or if you feel like it's a long that you want to kind of hold on to, that's up to you. But this was an opportunity. This news plays are usually an opportunity for a small, not a small move, but a tap in and tap out kind of thing, right? But this is kind of like on the lower time frame, so the trade is a lot faster. So let's take a look at where we are now, okay? So I do feel like we are still kind of in the running for this area right over here. Now, once we get down to this zone, we are going to start to see some kind of build, right? And I'm not going to, I'm going to pay attention to this zone, okay? Because what I am looking for is I'm looking for it to come down. I'm looking for it to touch right here, right on this line, right there. But I'm not looking for it to stay on that line. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a wick down, right? That's what I'm looking for. So if it's going to start to build strength in that zone, then I will still be looking for this area to be tapped, because I do feel like this candle here needs to be taken out, right? So I'm going to pay attention to this area, but I will be looking for a long. This is my long radar right over here, okay? Now, once we get down to the side, we might be stuck in this mud, right, in this order block, right? And things might slow up. It might not move very fast. We could have a V-shaped recovery. I'm not really sure how it's going to play out in this zone. Because this is going to actually create a lot of fear in the market, right? Because we, as I mentioned before, when we get down to an area like here on the lower part of the range, we are going down to 0, right? And when we get up to the top of the range, we are going to, new all-time highs, right? And this is just kind of the sentiment of the market, right? Like, crypto Twitter likes to chant and say whatever. But here is a really good opportunity, right? Wherever the alts are at this point, and wherever the charts are going, this might be a good opportunity for you to really, kind of stack in, right? Because if we do come down here, right, Actually, let me make my scribbles a little bit more accurate right here. If we do come down here like this, and then we build some strength, then I would be looking for this chart to come all the way back up here, right? Because what's happening is we are forming this new line like this, and that would be our resistance point, right? We are in a channel going down, and if I draw this line over here, you'll see what I mean, right? That's a little bit crooked, but you're getting the point, right? So actually, you know what? Let me do this for real. I don't even know why I'm doing that. I just like drawing on the screen, I guess. So if I take this line and I put it like this, this is currently going to be our resistance point, right? So if you're looking for another short, then you can look for a short against this line somewhere over here, right? And if I take this now, let's duplicate this and let's see if we've got something. Yeah, we're in these channels right over here. This is the channel. We dipped out just like so. So we are in a channel going down. So these areas here, if this is completely a channel, now again we've got one touch here, two touch here, we got one touch over here, we got two touch over here, right? So these lines are relevant. So if it does come down over here, right, and then it pops right over here, we would be tapping this line right there, and then we would be looking to come over here, get some resistance, right, and then bam. Then what we do is we end up taking out these zones, because what's happening now is that there are people leaving money right over here. There are people stuck in these zones. So usually when they are stuck in these zones, we get a candle to kind of recover some of that stuff, right? Basically called the liquidity grab, right? It's going to grab the liquidity in those pockets. So this is what I'm seeing right now. And yeah, this is how I feel like it's going to play out. So at this point, like, yeah, I'm starting to rev for a long, and you know, as the fear grows, right? As the fear grows, the more this becomes a reality, right? Or the more, as the fear grows, the more opportunity will be there for you, right? As long as you're paying attention, right? And planning. So my plan, again, is this zone right over here. I'm looking to take along in this section, or to build along. And what I mean by build along is I would be, you know, I'd be putting in, an entry. I'd be making an entry, and then I will make a plan for some DCAs in here, right? And then I will have a stop loss, right? A stop loss right down somewhere. Now this is not my spread, but it would be kind of in this area right around here, right? This is kind of like what I'm looking for, you know? So I would be building along in this section. And I will have my, I'll have my stop somewhere probably right over here. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't really planned that far because the chart has been taking its time moving down. But I will look a little bit closer to where it is, because you see this right here. This is our previous range, right? So looking back, let me see here. Yeah, that's our previous range top. So I think what I would do is I would look for something probably like this, where I kind of overshoot a little bit, so that this candle can be taken out. And then, yeah, so this is kind of the zone that I'm looking in, right? This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, so anyway, I'll leave this line in for now since we drew it. And yeah, so let's go jump over at Ethereum. Let's go take a look at what's going on over here. And again, you know, one of the things that I was saying is I'm looking for this candle to be taken out right over here. I'm looking for this candle to be clipped, right? So I am looking for a long in this section right over here. This is my section for a long. And I'm going to say this. I would be looking for a heavier long here, okay? Because Ethereum has been moving very wildly in each direction. The opportunity, I feel, is greater than Bitcoin to kind of get in. And again, you know, there's a lot of pockets of liquidity over here. There's a pocket over here. There's a pocket over here, right? And from here, from this section to this section right over here, this is a pretty big gap, right? So I was considering taking a short in this area, but I took a short in Bitcoin instead. Yeah, I've got some dry powder on the side waiting for this long to kind of like come in, right? So if you're looking at this, you can see already that there is like this head and like shoulders kind of thing that's being played out here, right? It's starting to form. Or let me go over here. This is it, right? This is a bar pattern, right? And here's the other shoulder there, right? That's what we've got. We've got kind of these sections. So if I box them out, this is a head and shoulders, this whole section right over here. These ranges are kind of a head and shoulders, right? So what I'm thinking is that once we get over here, if it can kind of build some strength, it is now reset. That's what I feel like. This is the reset right there. That's the reset zone. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. And yeah, let's go take a look real quick over at the Bitcoin dominance. There are some things that I don't really talk to you guys about right off the bat because I do not want to confuse, you know, what's happening in the market with what we're reading in Bitcoin and stuff like that. But I will tap into it. Like I'll briefly touch upon it, right? For example, like gold and dollar and stuff like that. The more information that I give you, you know, sometimes it's not good, right? I like to keep it really, really simple. And that's why I don't really pay attention to the news too hard, like what is being said or anything like that, because the charts are going to move the way the charts move. And the more that you start to create a dialogue for yourself, the more it's harder to get out of your bias and, you know, jump into the swing of things. So looks like we're losing some ground here on Ethereum dominance, right? And this is the other area that we would be looking for a bounce, okay? So just like the chart, we've got this like really kind of like head and shoulders that might have formed. This chart looks so wacky, man. It's just it just looks offset, right? But this would be the area that I would see that Ethereum would start to grab some of its strength back, and that would go along with the zone that I'm talking about on Ethereum, and saying that, you know, the opportunity might be a lot better on Ethereum to pop up, because Ethereum will be taking a run, no doubt about it. You know, I don't care if it's going to be a day, a month, or whatever. It's going to take its run, right? Looks like Bitcoin is still stuck in this channel, and the Bitcoin dominance is stuck in this channel. And Bitcoin dominance has a tendency to respect its trends, right? So the only thing is that we were talking about this before, okay? So I have a feeling that we'll come up over here, Bitcoin will grab a little bit of strength, and then it'll pop down, right? So that's what I'm still looking for from this, for Bitcoin to start getting a little bit more muted in its moves. But yeah, we'll see. Let's go take a look over at the S&P 500 real quick. Man, what a crazy move. This move here is like, man, it's hard to really play this because, you know, honestly, it is really, really, it's really, really just kind of like doing this incredible move. I mean, look at this. There's going to be a blow off top very soon, you know. This could be happening now. I'm not really sure. You know, honestly, like, it's been doing some incredible moves. I mean, maybe this is a short time on the S&P 500. You know, you're talking about like this is a pretty strong move, right? And where you would really kind of get some kind of confirmation really is if it breaks this trend, right? So we've got this trend line that's here that we've been rocking for a little while. This right over here, this channel that it's been in, right? If it breaks this bottom here, then yeah, we're changing direction. So this green line is kind of it. Now, if the short comes in and, you know, it comes over here and moves like this and then bounces around, well, that's what we were talking about with changes of direction, right? A change of direction looks like this kind of like pyramid action that's happening, right? So we don't quite have that yet. And sometimes, depending on what the move is, you know, the pyramid action is a little bit sharper. Sometimes, even in a V-shaped recovery, it's still a little bit like that, right? So it's this pattern that has to come out. So we'll see what happens. As far as now goes, like, you know, the first part of resistance is the top of this channel, right? That's the first part. And obviously, the mean is the area of where, you know, it should find some kind of like some struggle, right? Some kind of support. So this is where I think the S&P will come. And if it comes down over here, then it is very well possible that we start seeing, you know, a little bit of a take profit session. So anyway, that's that. You guys have my plans for today. And I hope that, you know, you guys stay safe in the market, you know, make your plans, and yeah, have a good one, everyone. Talk to you soon.